We have established a quorum. If I can have everybody observe a moment of silence now. Thank you. Next, we'll do our pledge. Mr. Shane Schubert.
Everyone, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. We'll move on to awards and recognitions. The first one is recognition of HCISD Texas Honor Roll campuses. Mr. Shane Schubert.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, Dr. Cavazos, trustees, administration, and audience. The Educational Results Partnership recently released their annual honor roll, a selection of Texas public schools and school districts that have achieved high academic performance, maintained performance, and reduced the achievement gap among specific diverse student populations. This year, 3 HCISD campuses received this distinction and are here tonight to be honored. Mr. Vice President, Dr. Cavazos, would y'all please come forward to help us recognize these campuses? Our first campus is Bowie Elementary. Representing Bowie Elementary is Jamie Galan and her staff.
Great.
Our next campus is Early College High School. Representing Early College High School is Dr. Pam Flores and her staff. And our last campus is Harlingen School of Health Professions. Representing HSHP is Tina Garza and Mr. Corchan. At this time, I'd like the rest of the trustees to come forward for a group photo. All right, yay!
Congratulations, ladies, and your staff. Do any of my fellow board members have comments they would like?
Certainly, I'd love to say congratulations. My goodness gracious, we're so excited. You know, I was noticing, we have one of the oldest schools in the district and one of the newest schools in the district and one of the most innovative schools in the district. We cover the gamut here with our winners tonight. And I think what you all have in common is that you have really learned how to focus, how to strategize, and work together as a team, and always have the highest of all standards. And it always works. You know, the right people making the right decisions and acting on those decisions appropriately with lots of love in your heart and lots of good intentions always works. So congratulations and thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. You put us on the map again.
Thank you, Ms. Fleury.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Reiniger?
I just wanted to add my congratulations and say what a wonderful way to start off the year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right, recognizing these three wonderful schools leading the way again. And so thank you for starting us off just right. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Reiniger. Next up, we're going to recognize our HCISD schools and staff that earned Valley Morningstar Readers' Choice Awards. Mr. Strubart again.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, Dr. Cavazos, trustees, administration, and audience. Each year, the Valley Morning Stars Reader's Choice Awards honors more than 130 businesses, organizations, and individuals selected as winners by its readership through a mail-in and online voting process. Its readership spans northern Cameron County, eastern Hidalgo County, and all of Willacy County. This year, we are very proud to announce that the Harlingen School District earned Reader's Choice Awards in the following categories: Best High School, Best Middle School, Best Elementary, so we have it all covered, Best Teacher, Best Softball Coach, Best Baseball Coach, and Best Basketball Coach. Mr. Vice President, Dr. Cavazos, would you please come forward to help us recognize the Reader's Choice awardees?
Wow.
For 2019, HCISD Reader's Choice Award winners are Best Elementary School, Bonham Elementary.
Praise God.
Representing Bonham Elementary is the principal, Minnie Remedios, and her staff.
Yeah, you bet. What a great representation.
Huh?
Bravo, bravo.
For Best Middle School, Vernon Middle School World Languages Academy.
Good job.
Representing Vernon is Principal Arlie Tamez and her staff.
Yay.
Great job.
Good job.
And for Best High School, Harlingen High School. Representing Harlingen High School is Principal Vivian Bauer
Good job.
and some of her staff. Those were some of her ROTC students.
Good.
Now, moving on to Best Teacher. Mr. Juan Gonzalez of Harlingen High School.
Wow.
Stick up there.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Best Softball Coach. Elias Martinez of Harlingen South.
Great job.
Best Baseball Coach. Mr. Chris Gracia of Harlingen South. And Best Basketball Coach, Mr. Brian Molina of Harlingen South. Representing Mr. Molina tonight is Principal Reyes, who will take the team to the district championship. Coach Molina is actually at a volleyball game in Sherryland tonight, assisting with the girls over there. All right, can we get all of the trustees to come forward for a group photo? Hey, congratulations. All right.
Okay, I just want to say thank you to all the winners up here. I think I counted 7. Shay, was it 7 or 8? 7 winners. You know, Dr. Cavazos always talks about protecting the brand and you know, representing the school district, and nobody represents them as well as you all did winning these and getting this recognition from the readers, because this is what the community sees. This is what the community knows about HCISD, and they voted you guys as the best in your field, in your school. So congratulations and thank you for representing the best.
We swept it. We swept it. We really, really swept it. Thank you all so much. Congratulations. We're really super proud of all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we're going to recognize the HCISD Public Relations and Community Engagement Department who received awards. Presenter, Mr. Shane Stewart again.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, Dr. Cavazos, trustees, administration, and audience for staying. Thank you, appreciate that. Wow.
They're here to cheer your
I
department.
know.
Mr.
Wow,
Stewart.
I love these guys. We're all family here. We're all family. The district's Public Relations and Community Engagement Department recently earned numerous awards from the Texas Public Relations Association, School Public Relations Association. In a field of nearly 1,000 participants, the PR department was awarded the following awards: a Gold Star Award for the STEM Square Preparatory Academy logo, Best of Category for the Experience HCISD magazine, Best of Category in other advertisement for the New Academies brochure and New Certifications billboard ad, Best of Category in brochures for the Harlingen CISD Academies brochure. We were awarded also a Silver Star Award for our HCISD 101 video, and Best of Category in Image and Identity Package for the HCISD school bus advertisements. At the national level, HCISD's Public Relations Department received major recognition from the Telly Awards organization. The Telly Awards has been recognizing outstanding video for 40 years, and HCISD is proud to be recognized alongside winners such as Disney, the BBC, and National Geographic. Last year, we received 1 silver award from Telly. However, this year we received 3. Here's a short clip describing the Telly Award.
A long time ago, people watched video on one single type of screen. For most shops, getting videos on this screen was hard. And even if their videos did, they struggled to gain recognition against videos made with big budgets and for big markets, even if these smaller market videos were built on big ideas. So, in 1979, we created an award to honor these videos for their excellence. And that's just the way it was. And it didn't change for a long time. Until it did. And then it changed again. And again. And again. And now there's more video on more screens and networks and devices than ever before, creating more opportunities for innovation. And that's exciting. We can't wait to see where this goes, and we look to you to lead the way.
One award that we received was for our Elementary 101 video in the school promotional video category. Another silver award was for our Elementary 101 video in the branding promotional category. And lastly, we received a silver award for our Experience HCISD video. You'll remember little Gabriel from Austin Elementary, the Gabriel testimony video. That was in the branding for online commercials category. So, Dr. Cavazos, Mr. Vice President, I'd like to ask you to come forward to help us recognize this outstanding team. Team, when I call you up, come grab one of the trophies. And we'll take one big group photo. Members of the Public Relations Department are graphic artist Roland Anzaldua. Administrative Assistant Esmeralda Rodriguez. Videographer, and by the way, he says he's going to win a gold next year. That's so. Brandon Castellanos. Videographer Joe Medrano. Our translator Ricardo Lara. Print shop manager and webmaster Jessica Martinez. Print shop specialist, Lizette Sandoval. Our new writer, Christina Garcia. And then lastly, our marketing coordinator, Brianna Vela Garcia.
Have to cluster. Y'all know this. You're design people.
Yeah, do we get to mention Shane Strubhart?
Yeah.
The leader?
Shane, get in there with your thing.
Shane, you come on with your picture.
No, Shane.
Shane,
Come on, Shane.
they want you. Yeah.
Take one for Mark.
I think the world knows this.
May I?
Yes, Dr. Reiniger?
Please, I just wanted to express our appreciation. I know each and every board member over the time that I've been serving on the board has talked about the tremendous work that you all do, and it is so true. Now, granted, you have great content, right? There are great stories and great schools and great personnel, but it's the work, the teamwork, and the vision, and the dedication, and the thinking about how to do this in a different way, and crafting the message. I just have such appreciation for your work, and I am so glad you were recognized for what you do. We absolutely have the best set team who is telling the community our stories, and it's because of each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Williams?
You know, Shane, you do an amazing job. Without an amazing leader, you don't have amazing production like this. I agree. I think he does deserve a round of applause. And we tend to take this for granted, but again, like I always do, let's go back 4 years ago, and it was totally different. We were saying, hey, we need to tell our story, we need to tell our story, we need to tell our story. You guys are doing an amazing job of telling the story. And I know that a big reason that's happening is not only Shane, but his right-hand woman, right, is doing an amazing job, and she deserves a round of applause. It's hard to tell the stories and capture them the way you guys are doing it, but you guys are doing a fantastic job. And in the world, just like that great telly piece there, I mean, there's so much going on, and people can screw up the message. And you guys right now are doing a fantastic job. You guys make, I mean, there's a lot, like Dr. Reiniger said, there's a lot going on, but there's pieces that we have to focus on, and you guys are doing an amazing job of focusing on the kids and focusing on the awards and focusing on such wonderful things that are happening. So congratulations, and to continued success. And yes, I believe there will be a gold next year.
Super nice.
Good job.
I just want to echo what Bobby said. It's really amazing where we've come in the last several years. Because one of the goals of the board was to tell our story to the community, to let the community know everything that we're doing. And I can tell you that I go to meetings and I meet people throughout the week or the month, and all the time they know what's going on because of what you all do, every one of you. I mean, it's amazing. They talk about the new programs, they ask questions, and you know, it wasn't happening 5 or 6 years ago, but y'all have just made it come to life, and y'all just do a terrific job. Thank you.
I would just like to say yes, indeed, 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 exclamation point, and that I got to see the video this morning on television. And it really does tell the story. And as I was saying to Brianna, the lovely part for us is that it was juxtaposed right next to another district's video. And ours was so much more comprehensive and showed so much greater breadth of what we're offering and the depth of the courses, and it was really special. And I thought to myself, I truly did, if I were to make a choice based on what I just saw, there is no question that I'd want our children at Harlingen CISD. It's a great video, so thank you all very much. You did a great job.
Thank you, Ms. Ferry. You know, I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the other recognitions, and again, it's something Dr. Cavazos says all the time, protect the brand. We don't have a brand if it's not for your department, Shane.
That's right.
You know, the people, the product is there. Somebody said you don't have a issue with the content, but you have to know what to do with the stories. And being in that field, sometimes it's hard to tell stories. You guys do the best job, in my opinion, in the entire state, because you know, from your writers, your graphic designers, marketing, everybody here in this team deserves a lot of credit, and you deserve these recognitions, because telling a story is not easy. You know, even if you have the story right in front of you, and you guys do it, you guys make it look easy. So congratulations, and you deserve everything. Thank you. All right, next we'll move on to the approval of minutes. First one, July 9th, 2019 regular board meeting.
I move approval of the minutes for July 9th, 2019, regular board meeting.
Second the motion.
Dr. Reiniger moves, Ms. Fleury seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. July 30th, 2019 special board meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes for the July 30, 2019 meeting, special board meeting as submitted.
Second the motion.
Mr. Park moves, Dr. Muniz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. And the minutes for the August 6th special board meeting.
Mr. Vice President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the August 6, 2019 special board meeting.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Muniz, second by Dr. Reiniger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of the consent calendar, unless someone wants to pull something out and talk about.
I move that we approve the consent calendar as submitted.
Second the motion. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Moved by Mr. Powers, second by Ms. Fleury. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Public comments? Do we have any? All right, no public comments. Next, we'll move on to matters related to transformation and school support. Dr. Anicia Loyola for the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Jaimes, Dr. Cavazos, board members, senior team, and audience. Last Tuesday night, August 6th, we had our regularly scheduled Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee. At that committee meeting, we highlighted two programs, or I should say two new programs that continue to exemplify how HCISD continues to provide expanded opportunities to students in our school district. The first presentation was done by Joseph Villarreal, our Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Education. He provided the board with an update on our Transition Academy and how that Transition Academy is providing opportunities for our students in our special education program to experience real-world settings. And so in his presentation, Mr. Villarreal spoke to the program and the two key components that are designed to address students at our high school level as well as students all the way up to age 22 in order to assist them as they transition out of high school. He highlighted one of the components, which is about providing students that real-world setting So our Transition Academy will be formulated in the concept of a real home, so the students are able to continue to expand their skills in that setting. But then it also spoke to component 2, which is about providing students opportunities to work within our community and teach them those work skills that are essential for them to function in those settings. In addition, he shared some possible options with regard to locations of this site. Our goal is to open our Transition Academy in the fall of 2020. So we will continue to highlight the work that is happening in this program until that date. The second presentation also was about providing students some expanded opportunities. Students that sometimes need some additional flexibility and space, a network of support that sometimes may not always happen for students within our traditional brick and mortar setting, because as we know, one size doesn't fit all. And so that program that we highlighted was the HCISD Online Academy, which we will be opening this coming year on a small scale. Within this online academy, we will be providing some additional supports for students in the forms of academic coaching, providing opportunities for CTE certifications, 24/7 tutoring, a local advocate that will really work with students on providing some of those social emotional supports that they will need to function within that type of setting. We will begin this program with a group of 30 students at Keys Academy. So through that program, these students will have an opportunity for all of those supports. But in addition, as we look to the expansion of this program within our committee meeting, all of us were able to identify some additional populations that we feel would really benefit from participation in this type of programming. So we will continue to keep you updated on the progress of this program, but we're really excited at how HCISD continues to meet the needs of students throughout our entire district. Dr. Belinda Reiniger chairs our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee, so I'll turn it over to her for any additional comments.
Thank you, Dr. Nayuela. It was a truly vigorous conversation on both topics. The committee is very excited about what is happening, and I think in both cases, having a lot of input from a number of people to make sure that these plans are very comprehensive and well rolled out. And indeed, that was what was presented, where the board is very excited about this. The Transition Academy, there was input from parents and staff and teachers and a number of experts to the idea of the Transition Academy. The board is tremendously excited because we're going to be exceeding guidance. We're going above and beyond. We are putting resources and new opportunities for students and young people who often don't get those opportunities. It's an aggressive timeline that we're working on to make sure that we get this up and running. The locations as presented by Mr. Villarreal are giving us great options. There was a lot of encouragement from the attendees to really look at industry partners as well, so that we make sure that we're maximizing opportunities. In terms of the HCISD Online Academy, that too, tremendous excitement about that. And I think what's really impressive about this is that technology alone is not a solution, but technology embedded in a responsible and comprehensive plan like what was presented can change lives. And that's what's being offered, the complementary certifications, the various resources. This has such potential for the students that you're proposing it to start with, and then the potential for growth. I think everybody's really excited. So thank you for your leadership on all of this.
Thank you, Dr. Reiniger. Next, we'll move on to matters relating to curriculum and instruction. First off, we have approval of an out-of-state trip for the Harlingen High School Band to travel to Disney World in Orlando, Florida on April 29th through May 3rd, 2020. Ms. Maria Coronado.
Good evening, Mr. President, Vice President, Dr. Cavazos, Board of Trustees, senior team, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm here this evening to seek approval for the Harlingen High School Band to travel to Florida in the spring.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the out-of-state trip as proposed.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Muniz, second by Mr. Powers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Your permission is granted
Yeah.
unanimously. Does
Thank
anybody
you
have
so
any
much for your
comments?
time.
May I say
Sure,
something?
sure.
Maria,
Yes.
I had the incredibly, fantastically good fortune to be there many years ago when Harlingen High School Band was also playing at Disney World, and the district was there, and it was such a joy, obviously a memorable moment for me, to see our students there and to see people from all over the world streaming in to hear you play. It really is just a highlight experience, and one I carry with me all the time. So you go with our blessing and have a fabulous time, and I know they'll just do an extraordinarily wonderful job.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Now you have a lot of chaperones here.
Yeah, we can go again.
We'll sign up.
Just
Yes,
saying.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms.
Yeah.
Coronel.
Thank you.
Next, it's consideration and approval of an interlocal agreement with the City of Harlingen for the School Resource Officer Program during the 2019-2020 school year. Dr. Alicia Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. Jaimes, board members, Dr. Cavazos, and audience. So again, this evening, we bring for your consideration and approval the interlocal agreement between the City of Harlingen for the School Resource Officer Program with HCISD. As you are aware, and certainly our community, HCISD has had a longstanding partnership with the City of Harlingen for the provision of resource officers within our school district. Over the years, we have increased those numbers to where we currently have 7 officers that work at our high schools. It's been a tremendous opportunity, not only for the provision of obviously safety and security, but more so the building of relationships between our students, our teachers, our entire school district, and officers as a whole. And so it's been a tremendous opportunity. As we look to the 2019-20 school year, we will continue to recommend the same number of officers, but we were fortunate that through the work of the chief of police and his staff, we have increased the opportunity to provide some additional resource officers at our middle schools. So within the agreement, we will have 2 additional officers who will rotate amongst our middle schools to also provide, again, not just that safety and security, but continue to build relationships between students and officers as a whole. I want to recognize Chief Kester and Deputy Chief Miriam Anderson, who are here with us. They have been tremendous partners and very, very accommodating and assisting us in achieving our mission of building those continued partnerships with our city. At this time, administration recommends approval of the interlocal agreement between the City of Harlingen for the School Resource Officer Program and HCISD.
Have a motion?
Yes, I move approval of the interlocal agreement with the City of Harlingen for School Resource Officer Program during the 1920 school year.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Reiniger, second by Dr. Muniz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Chief,
you.
and thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Miriam Anderson,
Thank
the first deputy chief female, right? Miriam, yay! Thank you, guys. Thank you for the work you all do.
Thank you,
Thanks
Chief.
a lot. Thank you.
All right, next we'll move on to the approval of Border Patrol Explorers Program to be added to the sanctioned organization list. Mr. Joseph Villarreal.
Good evening, Vice President Jaimes, board members, Dr. Cavazos, and audience members. I stand before you requesting that the Border Patrol Explorers Program be added to the sanctioned organization listing that grants students excused absences from school upon participation in a particular program. The Border Patrol Explorers Program is a volunteer program designed for young men and women to receive experience in and exposure to law enforcement careers within U.S. Customs and Border Protection. At this time, administration is recommending approval.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Vice President, I move that we approve the Border Patrol Explorers Program and be added to the sanctioned organization list.
Thank you, Mr. Powers.
Second the motion.
Second by Ms. Fleury. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to matters relating to business services. First, we'll look at approval of internal audit plan for the 2019-2020 year. Ms. Nelly Ledesma.
Thank you, Mr. Jaimes, board members, Dr. Cavazos, and senior staff. Earlier this evening, the audit committee and I reviewed the audit plan in detail for this coming year, and I respectfully request your approval of the audit plan at this time.
A motion?
Thank you. Yes, I would like to move for approval, please, of the internal audit plan as presented for 2019-2020.
Moved by Ms. Fleury,
Second.
second by Dr. Reiniger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Ledesma. Next, we'll move on to the Internal Auditor Quarterly Report.
Thank you,
Ledesma
Mr.
again.
Hymas, board members, Dr. Cavazos, and senior staff. The audit committee and I met earlier this afternoon and heard the following 13 audit reports: an audit of Kronos adjustment forms, an audit of athletic ticket sales and gate receipts, an audit of time and effort documentation, an audit of bank reconciliations, an audit of bus and vehicle shop parts, an audit of unannounced cash audit, an audit of PEMS attendance procedures and data quality, an audit of child nutrition a la carte sales, and an annual audit of activity funds for all campuses and non-campuses. And then we also heard 4 special activity fund audits for Harlingen High School, Memorial Middle School, and Connell Freshman Academy, and Stewart Place Elementary. These reports were discussed in detail with the committee members. I am here to answer any questions any of you may have, unless Ms. Fleury would like to elaborate on what we discussed.
No, thank you. Other than to say that we had a comprehensive and detailed report and done very expeditiously due to the constraints of time. But we want to thank you, Nellie, because you really do present to us a very thorough background of what it is that you do. And that's important for us to know, that the detail that you bring to all of the work that you do is noted and it is commendable, and we thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I would like to move for the approval of the
Oh,
no,
that's
we don't
right.
have to
No,
approve it. I
don't
just
approve.
get to tell you about it. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
That's right, that's right. But I do approve it. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, Ms. Ledesma. And Ms. Garcia, is she still here? No. Well, thank her for us.
Thank you.
Next, move on to the consideration approval of renewal of school professional legal liability, general liability, employee benefits liability, auto fleet coverage, and workers' compensation insurance for 2019-2020 by Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Hyman, Dr. Costos, and board members. Agenda item C is consideration to renew our fleet, professional liability, general liability, and workers' compensation insurance with TASB. They proposed a 4.7% increase. We have been with the services over the years and are recommending approval. The overall maximum cost, because it's a self-funded plan, is $1,120,683. That's the maximum amount that we would pay. We recommend approval.
Motion?
I move for approval as requested.
Moved by
Second.
Mr. Powers, second by Dr. Muñiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Next, we'll look into consideration approval of health insurance rates for 2019-2020. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Hymas, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8D is consideration to approve health insurance rate for 2019-2020. We are proposing a 9.2% increase to our health insurance cost this year, as well as dependent care coverage. We did incorporate this into our budget in June. We're also recommending to increase our deductible from $1,500 to $1,750 per employee for the low plan, and from $1,000 to $1,250 for the high plan. The Employee Benefit Committee met earlier today and discussed this in detail. I'll be glad to answer any questions the board might have.
Do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
I move approval then of the health insurance rates as presented for 2019-2020.
Moved by Ms. Fleury,
Second.
second by Dr. Muñiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Next, a consideration approval of dental plan renewal for 2019-2020.
Yeah.
Mr. Cavazos, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Hymas, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8 is consideration to approve a dental renewal plan. This is an employee-paid plan, 100%. Emeritus Dental submitted the renewal at no increase. We've had good experience with them. We recommend approval. We also did discuss this at the Employee Benefit Committee.
Mr. Vice President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the dental plan renewal as presented.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Muñiz, second by Mr. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next, consideration approval of the third-party administrator for Section 125 cafeteria plan. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Hymas, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8F is consideration approval of the third-party administrator for Section 125. These are the individuals that help us with our employee benefit enrollment, health insurance, vision, dental, and other products at enrollment. We did solicit proposals and received 5 on June the 24th. We ranked the top proposals and interviewed the top 3 vendors based on experience, qualifications, financial strength, proposed capacity to meet enrollment timeframe. Interview committee consisted of 4 employee benefit committee members and 6 administrators, to include Rachel Cortez and myself. The ranking is in a part of your handout. We are recommending the top ranked vendor of National Teacher Association Business Services, NTA. They are our incumbent, and they had the best proposal. We also, part of our talk was also talking about health savings accounts and the benefit it has. We still need a little more time to research this and to set an implementation date. There's some strict IRS regulations that we have to abide with, so we need to make sure that we comply with those before we implement that, but we did have a good discussion on that. Again, we're recommending NTA associates for the third-party administration.
Mr. James, I move approval of the third-party administrator for section 125.
Moved by Dr. Reininger,
Second.
second by Ms. Fleury. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Cavazos. Next, we'll move on to matters relating to human services. Consideration and approval for continuance of sick leave bank for school year 2019-2020. Ms. Debbie Scoggin.
Thank you so much, Vice President Jaimes, board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior team, and audience. So agenda item 9A is a request for the continuance of the sick leave bank for the 2019-2020 school year as per board policy DEC local. In the action portion of the agenda, there is a report of the sick leave bank days used during the 2018-19 school year and those that are currently available in the bank. This does not include any new members who may enroll for the 2019-20 school year, and members would have until the end of September to do so. The sick leave bank was created to provide additional paid sick leave days to its members in the event of a catastrophic illness or injury which leaves a member unable to perform his or her duties and causes substantial loss of income. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for approval as presented.
Moved by Dr. Muniz, second by Mr. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank
Next,
you.
consideration and approval of sick leave bank handbook for 2019-2020 school year. Ms.
Thank you.
Scoggin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice President Jaimes. So item 9B on the agenda is the approval of the sick leave bank handbook. The handbook is a guideline to matters such as eligibility and regulations for joining the sick leave bank, process of requesting days from the bank, granting days from the sick leave bank, and duties and responsibilities of the committee. If
Do you have a
anyone has any
motion?
questions?
I move for approval as requested.
Moved by Mr. Powers.
Second.
Second by Dr. Muniz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have approval of recommended revisions to policy update 113 and local policy DC on first reading and local policy BED on first reading only. Dr. Alicia Nola?
Thank you, Mr. Jaimes. Earlier this evening, we held our Policy and Audit Committee meeting. At that meeting, we discussed recommended revisions to Policy Update 113. The recommended revisions were minor in nature. They were designed simply to bring clarity to some existing policies. In addition, we discussed local policy DC as well as local policy BED on BED. Regarding local policy BD, a number of recommendations were brought forward for changes, and so we'll certainly be implementing those recommendations. We are bringing forward tonight local policy BED on first reading only. There is a time element in that this new legislation that impacted local policy BED comes into effect September 1st. So at this time, administration recommends approval of Update 113 and local policy DC on first reading and local policy BED on first reading only.
Mr. Vice Chair, I would like to move approval of the recommended revisions to policy update 113 and local policy DC on first reading and local policy BED on first reading only.
Moved by Ms. Fleury.
Second.
Second, Dr. Reininger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes
May I
unanimously.
please, I
Yes.
would just like to
Go ahead.
add that as chair of the policy committee, we really appreciated the leadership that Dr. Noyola showed for our committee today, and we did indeed have a detailed discussion of all of the issues that are involved in these various policies. And as we all know and commented, school districts are run by policy and not by personality, and it's pleasure to serve on a board that understands that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Arnola. Next, we'll move on to matters relating to district operations, and with our Facilities Committee report, Mr. Oscar Tapia.
Mr. Jaimes, board members, Dr. Cavazos. A Facilities Committee meeting was held on August 6th. The first item we discussed was a report of the repair work at Dishman Elementary, Wilson Elementary, and Vernon Middle School due to the rainstorm that we had in the flooding damages and all the work that we had to do to get ready for the first day of school. And I'm happy to report everything went as scheduled and all hands on deck and the schools were ready for the first day of school.
Right.
We also discussed the TRE projects that give an update on the Treasure Hills Elementary classroom wing. They're already got the roof dried in. They've got brickwork going up, starting some painting work inside and working on all the infrastructure like wiring for the electrical and all the mechanical issues and things like that. We gave an update on the security fencing work. There was some progress starting to be made, and a little slow, then it picks up. So we're stringing them along, but it looks like they're going to complete the job. Give an update on the civil job at Kano Academy with the new drive and some sidewalk work at STEM and high school. Drinking fountain improvements at Lamar, Austin, Sam Houston, Jefferson, Louis, Bowie, Long, and Crockett, and Travis coming along. A lot of the fountains have already been installed, and a lot of the infrastructure underground work has been done at all of the schools. Gave an update on the gym flooring at Harlingen High School South Mini Gym and the Gutierrez Middle School gym to the committee. All the new wall panels and the multi-purpose buildings that we're working on at several elementary schools. The canopy at Harlingen South in the back by the chiller plant is already erected, and the Zavala front canopy should start, it's already started this week. We gave an update on all the work being done at Vernon World Language Academies, the work that's being done in-house by our maintenance staff or by the library in that back wing, all the way to the front science wings. It looks like a brand new campus. They're very excited about that work. And of course, the courtyard work we did at the entry was all done for the first day of school. Showed pictures of the new tennis court that's been resurfaced, and the new cafeteria upgrades that we did at Gutierrez Middle School through our child nutrition program with federal funds to upgrade the aesthetics of that facility. We then moved on to construction funds and financial report. Mr. Julio Cavazos gave a report on the latest fund expenditures, and that's. I'll turn it over to Mr. Powers for the facilities chair for any questions he may have.
Well, I just want to say, we talked a while ago about our marketing department and how outstanding they are, and I can tell you that Oscar and his department are top notch. They don't get any better. I look, back at the bond issues and all the projects we've had, and I look at you keep thinking, well, these are all done. Now it's going to slow down, and I look here's a 4-page list of projects that he has, and thank goodness, as I've said before, I think we have all the best plumbers and electricians and people working in our district, and thank goodness we do, because we got hit hard at Dishman and at Wilson, and it's amazing that you got everything done, sheetrock ripped out, desks out, floors removed, everything, mold, whatever we had problems, and in time for school to start out with the kids not even missing a step. I want to compliment you all on that, because it's just incredible what you all were able to do in such a short amount of time. Treasure Hills looks fantastic. Despite the bad weather we've had, I think the contractor's doing a really good job and is moving along very, very well. I've driven by there recently last week and sort of just peeked in myself. The gym flooring, I want to compliment you also. We had some rain. We just repaired 2 new gym floors, and the rain came in, the doors, and we had some buckling on one end of each of the buildings, and Oscar and his team have put awnings out to prevent that from happening again and raise the level of the entrance so that doesn't happen again. And the contractor stepped up and replaced everything that really should have been replaced so that we have a great solid floor on both places. Lastly, and there's so many projects, I do want to comment on Vernon. I get to watch Vernon every day. My office is right across the street, and it's just incredible that I really think that Vernon is the show place of the district as far as architecture, and Bowie is too. I mean, it's a beautiful school, and what we've done out there is just incredible. In interior, the public really doesn't get to see that, but the new flooring and everything y'all are doing is we ought to have a tour when it's done. And finally, I hate to admit it, but I'm not gonna concede yet. I think I'm gonna owe Oscar $5 and Kenny Lee $5 because that beautiful oak tree is coming back. So, thank you so much. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Thank you, Mr. Tapia. Next, we'll move on to the approval of delegate and alternate for the 2019 TASB Delegate Assembly.
It depends which board member wants to be.
I can make a motion for approval, whoever it is.
Well, who do you want to? Whoever it is.
Do I have a nomination?
We'd like to nominate Dr. Nolan Pettit.
Is it the one in September?
Yes.
The TASB?
what-
Yeah,
September
the one we're going for
21st?
the board of the.
Because we have the
yeah.
interview on Friday, and then we have to present on Sunday, so is it Saturday?
Yeah,
I believe it's on Saturday.
Saturday, yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. So we should, I would
I
say,
don't mind
check.
going if you just need someone to go, I will be there.
So do you want to be nominated?
I'll be glad to go.
Can I nominate?
No.
What we should, have you
Better
done
than-
that?
May I please, Mr. Vice President, nominate Jerry Fleurier to serve as our delegate for the 2019 TASB Delegate Assembly.
second.
You need
We
to
have
let
a
her
nomination
finish,
by
so.
Dr. Reiniger and a second by Dr. Muniz and Mr. Powers.
Mr. Powers.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Ms. Fleury, we also, congratulations, but we also need an alternate.
Oh.
They're all sneaking under the
You,
table.
you can nominate. Huh? Elijah can do it. Elijah, you going, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
Belinda went last year, right?
I was the alternate. I got to go to it.
I nominate Vice President Eladio Jaimes.
Second.
We have a nomination of myself by Mr. Powers and a second by Dr. Reiniger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Can I vote?
He says no.
I'm
Come
kidding.
on, sir.
I'm kidding. I proudly accept. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't let me forget.
Next, we're going to consider endorsement of, for TASB Board of Directors for Region 1, Position B. The position is currently held by Yolanda Cuellar, South Texas ISD Board Member and Vice President. Ms. Cuellar has indicated that she will be seeking re-election. She has served in this capacity for the last 2 years and has been very involved in representing our region at the state level. There are two other candidates that were in your board packet. Do I have a motion or a nomination for endorsement of a TASB Board of Directors?
No, do they do it openly or? Yes, you do it.
I don't know who the other two were.
I nominate Mrs. Cuellar.
Here we have a motion from Mr. Powers to nominate Mrs. Yolanda Cuellar,
Second.
and a second by Dr. Reiniger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alrighty. Now we're going to adjourn to closed or executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082. The Open Meetings Act for the following purposes: discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff. We're now adjourned into closed session.
I'd like to make a motion for approval as recommended for the hiring of employment teachers and other professional staff.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Muniz, second by Mr. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. We are adjourned.
Wow.
You have a great one.